I would recommend Studyiq mock interview very highly, and the experience was very good. The arrangement of the institute and the coordination of the faculty members, they were really good.
Yes, it was a good experience and I recommend it to others as well.
I will highly recommend everyone who is preparing for civil service, especially for interview.
My overall experience was very nice. I would highly recommend people to give mocks here.
The quality of board members were very good. So yes, I will definitely recommend it.
Definitely the interview experience was very good.
It was an overall nice experience, and yes, I would be recommending it to others as well.
Yes, ma'am, certainly.
Yes, I would recommend.
I would definitely recommend.
Yes, I would definitely.
I will recommend you highly that you should have once a conversation in Studyiq as well.
May I come in, sir?
Please come in.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Sit down, please.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, congrats to you. Your name is?
Sir, MOHAMMAD Haris.
It's pronounced as Haris.
Haris, yes, sir.
Haris Mir.
Yes, sir.
Mir is what? Surname?
Yes, sir, it's a surname.
Okay. Congrats, you are already part of IAS, isn't it?
Sir, yes, I am in the Indian Revenue Service as of now.
Very good, very good. And that was in first attempt?
Yes, sir.
Kya baat hai. Superb. Your name invites a lot of questions, nahi? Mir.
Yes, sir.
There was a famous poet.
Sir, I am aware. It was Mir Taki Mir, sir.
थोड़ा ऊंचा बोलो यार.
Sir, it was Mir Taki Mir, sir.
Mir Taki Mir?
Yes, sir.
But what is his full name? I mean, original name. ये तो जैसे poet के सबके adopted names होते हैं.
Yes, sir.
तलफ़ुज़. हाँ, तलफ़ुज़ right. I know.
Sir, I am not aware of his.
You are not aware of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mir had like so many other poets, he also wrote fine poetry, and in fact one of the finest. But in addition to writing poetry, he had a very major influence in a certain area of Urdu language. What is that?
Sir, I think sir, I'm aware of his works in Ghazal, because he has also been a mentor or a influence on Mirza Ghalib as well. But I'm not aware of any other genre of Urdu literature where he has contributed.
Okay. Was he a contemporary of Mirza Ghalib?
Sir, he was alive in a period before Mirza Ghalib, sir.
So Mirza Ghalib came later?
Yes, sir.
But there is always, anybody who has interest in Urdu poetry or poetry as such, they always compare Mir and Mirza Ghalib.
Yes, sir.
Whom would you rate as better of the two?
So, well, I have lost my touch with Urdu literature as of now, but Mirza Ghalib is more widely recognized, and Mirza Ghalib's poetry is more well known in comparison to Mir Taki Mir.
Why could this be? Why could this be so?
So it could be because Mir Taki Mir was alive in a very earlier era, and at that time a lot of his publications might not have survived as of yet. And Mirza Ghalib had his works in both Persian as well as Urdu, so that could be the reason.
My last question on this. Did Mirza Ghalib criticize Mir for certain reasons?
Sir, I am not aware of this story.
Did he praise him?
Yes, sir, I am aware of that.
He praised him?
Yes, sir.
In what manner? What did he say exactly in his praise?
Sir, there is a famous share by Mirza Ghalib in which he says that रेख्ता के तुम ही नहीं हो उस्ताद हो गालिब कहते हैं अगले ज़माने में कोई मीर भी था. So in that he has praised Mir Taki Mir.
Okay. My next question regarding law, not from India but an instance from US.
Yes, sir.
The President Trump, he on the first day, he announced few very important decisions, and one of them was that the kids born to, migrant and other families that they will not be given citizenship, which was the normal course of the day before he came in. You are aware of that.
Yes, sir.
So why he made this exception? What was on his mind?
Sir, Donald Trump's own politics has been against these anti-immigrant stance. He has been vocal about the influx of illegal immigration, particularly from the southern border. So, in that, he has invoked an executive order prohibiting citizenship birthright for whoever is born in the territory. However, that executive order can face several constitutional challenges because it is enshrined in the 14th Amendment to the US Constitution. So just recently a court has also stayed that order. So while he might have pushed his own agenda, but the US Constitution prohibits such.
Has there been any further development on this?
So particularly the citizenship order.
Yeah.
So just recently the one of the courts, US courts has stayed that order, and approximately 18 states have also moved to challenge this order. 18 US states.
No, it has been stayed on what grounds?
So, as it is a violation of the 14th Amendment to the US Constitution.
Violation how? What does it say?
So, the 14th Amendment to the US Constitution enshrines birthright citizenship to anyone who is born in the territory of the United States. So, changing that will require heavy amendments, and it cannot be done via an executive order.
And which is, you referred to some court which gave this order.
Yes, sir.
Which level court was it?
So it was a district level, state level court.
Say it again.
It was a state level court in US.
State level?
Yes, sir.
Or district level?
So I'm not aware of whether it was a state or, but it was not a federal court. It was one of the state courts.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Define judicial activism.
Sir, judicial activism is basically the exercise of the power of judicial review by the judiciary to induce a certain socio-economic and socio-political changes in the legal framework of the country.
So is it good or it is bad for the system?
So, judicial activism, as said by various judges themselves, comes from the constitutional mandate of the Constitution to establish a more egalitarian society. So, if exercised with judicial restraint and within the proper domain of the judiciary, I think it has induced several positive changes, such as seen in the case of prevention of sexual harassment or the right to privacy judgments.
What is second advocate's case?
Sir, the second advocate's case was there in 1991. It was the case where the birth of collegium took place. Before that, in the first judge's case, the Supreme Court had interpreted Article 124 as the concurrence, as the word that consultation therein with the Chief Justice. It was held to be not binding in the first judge's case. However, in the second judge's case, that was made binding. So the collegium was made superior to the executive in the appointment of judges.
How do you view defamation under law of torts?
Sir, defamation under law of torts is a civil remedy which is there for anyone who has suffered a loss to his reputation from any publication or any imputation. So the remedy in law of torts is mostly civil. However, defamation is also a criminal offence present in the IPC or the BNS.
Section IPC? Which section of IPC?
So it was section 499 of the IPC.
Is there a change in the name of IPC?
Yes, sir. The IPC has been changed to the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita.
What are the pitfalls of Indian tax system?
Sir, the pitfalls of Indian tax system is that there is a very low tax base in our country, and the formalization of our economy is low. Apart from that, the complexity of taxation statute is another challenge.
Why Jammu Millia Islamia University was in bad news? Why was it a movement or what is the issue actually?
Sir, it was around 2019 and 2020 actually when the Citizenship Amendment Act had been passed. So in Jammu and around the area of Jammu, there were some protests and agitations opposing the Citizenship Amendment Act. But that protest gradually turned violent. So that resulted in that bad name of that incident.
Whether the incident was actually there or it was thrust upon or it was politically motivated.
So while there were protesters in the whole region of that district, some malicious elements had entered those crowds, due to which the authorities did have to react, and that led to escalation in the situation.
My last question, is there a solution to Bangladesh crisis underway now?
Sir, right now, I think the Bangladeshi internal politics is in flux, and as it is a sovereign nation, so we will have to wait and watch as to how things settle. But the holding of democratic elections would be the first step in the resolution of those crises.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Haris.
Good morning, ma'am.
So I'll begin from where Sir left. India has a right for the transgenders, right? They have a right to protect their identity. However, in the US, after Trump has come, he has striked off the others from the gender binaries. How do you see it?
Ma'am, I think the decision of President Donald Trump to basically disallow the diversity, equity, and inclusion norms is not in line with the global human rights and standards. And in fact, the UDHR also recognized the rights of gender minorities. So this view that Donald Trump has taken is a regressive view.
And how does law help us here?
Ma'am, in the US, there are a lot of actions which are taken through executive orders. But however, various states do have the power there to enact their own statutes. So I think this decision will depend on how the states react to it.
So it's a common belief that an engineer's son becomes an engineer, a doctor's become a doctor. But here I see that you've chosen your mother's vocation instead of your father. Any specific reasons for that?
Ma'am, my mother was not a lawyer by training. However, she was employed in the district court. My inspiration in law basically came from some of the administrative law disputes which my father had to face. So that journey of his really inspired my understanding of law, and that is why I decided to choose law.
So you've also been a co-founder of a socio-legal NGO. Tell me, how important is the social aspect in dealing with the ideas, matters of law?
Ma'am, the social aspect is definitely very critical because the ramifications of law are very widespread. We have seen this consideration of social norms in the case of the same-sex marriage as well, where the court did take a cautious stance so as to not pass on any sweeping verdicts, and it passed it on to the parliament to enact through deliberations. Apart from this, law itself does impact society, as we have seen in the case of the Right to Education Act and the Prohibition of Dowry Act or the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act. So the relationship between law and society has always been mutualistic.
You say that you have a keen interest in strength training.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is strength training still not popular, not very popular amongst women? Are there any notions, good or bad, associated with it?
Ma'am, some notions are that strength training might create a hormonal imbalance in a woman's body, which are unsubstantiated, because strength training helps every person equally. Apart from this, there is a deficit in the public health infrastructure of India, where exclusive gyms or gyms for women are not too much prevalent. So that is the reason this activity is not very popular amongst women.
All right. My last question. You're already in the services.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you want to attempt for IAS now?
Ma'am, the reason first of all is personal. From my childhood, I have myself have visualized myself as an IS officer whenever I have thought of civil services. Gradually, also I have realized the immense importance at the developmental level that the Indian Administrative Services has. So I personally prefer the dynamism and the various roles that IS has in the society. So that is why I am appearing again in this exam.
When did you first realize that that is where your heart lies?
Ma'am, the first awareness of this position came to my mind after Mr. Shah Faisal from our state was selected. At that time, I was in 8th grade. So I started looking up to this examination. At that time, it was just a symbol of excellence. So gradually, I also came to realize the immense importance of this position.
All right. Thank you, Haris.
Right, Haris, when is the interview scheduled?
So 21st February.
Okay, you have time. Fine. Since you have interests in watching movies and documentaries on world wars,
Yes,
can you tell me why were the D-Day landings delayed?
Sir, the D-Day landings were delayed. I believe it was due to the weather of that area. There was a lot of fog in the North Sea at that time, due to which these landings were delayed.
Okay, so what would have been the ideal conditions for the landings to happen?
So the conditions would have been clearer weather, so that the landings would have been more smooth.
Would you have wanted high tide or low tide that time?
So I would have wanted high tide at that time, so that the length of the beach to be crossed would not have been more. So because then the soldiers would have the opportunity to land closer to the cliff at that point.
But didn't you have hurdles on the beach that time? So during high tide, those hurdles would be invisible. Your ships would be rendered ineffective.
So, but there were a lot of small boats that were used to carry the soldiers from the smaller ships to bigger ships to the coast.
Okay. Recently in Jammu and Kashmir, a major deposit was discovered in fact. Can you recall what is the deposit?
So it was the lithium deposit in the Riyasi district.
Okay. And how is the lithium deposits in Jammu and Kashmir different to the lithium deposits of South America?
So the status of those deposits is at an preliminary stage right now. So I'm not aware of the exact differences between the lithium deposits there. However, it remains to be explored, and the feasibility of those exploitation of those lithium deposits is yet to be determined.
Okay. Exploitation or exploration?
So it is now at the exploration stage, and the feasibility of exploitation will be determined.
Okay. Tell me about the environmental impact assessment that would be related to these lithium deposits. How would you go about it if you were the DC of the district?
So the environmental concerns are definitely very significant, because lithium processing requires a lot of water. So first of all, I would consult with the local public, and I would try to determine the water needs of that region, and I would also try to determine the locally available water sources that are there. Apart from this, I would also take note of whether or not any wildlife sanctuaries or protected areas are nearby, or any tribal populations are residing in that area.
So are there any wildlife sanctuaries in Riyasi district?
Sir, particularly in Riyasi district, I don't think there is any wildlife sanctuary. However, the entire region is an ecologically sensitive zone. So I would take...
Is there something different about Riyasi when you compare the, say, earthquake seismicity hazard map? Is it different to the rest of Jammu and Kashmir area, or is there no problem from the geological perspective?
So the entire region lies in seismic zone 5 and 4. Particularly Riyasi district, I think it is more volatile to seismicity.
Right. Okay. Since you are a probationer in the IRS,
yes, sir.
Can you recall what's the GST percentage under which we charge our air conditioners?
So specifically air conditioners, I am not...
Okay, let me inform you, it's 28%. So in a tropical country like India, is it fair to tax something as basic as access to cooling as a luxury product rather than a product of necessity?
Sir, I think these tax rates of GST do need a lot of deliberation, because we do have a lot of tax slabs in India when it comes to GST. I think rationalization of tax slabs needs to be done, and due consideration needs to be taken in terms of the necessities of life in India.
Okay, who's the chair of the GST Council?
So it is the Honorable Finance Minister.
All right. One last question before I let you go. We have a Republic Day coming up very soon. So on Republic Day, do we unfurl our tricolor or do we hoist our tricolor?
Sir, I think we hoist our tricolor.
Are you sure?
So I'm not sure.
Thank you, Haris.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Harris. We see you in a while.
Okay, sir.
After say a couple of minutes.
Thank you, sir.
Please be around.
Thank you, madam. May I come in, sir?
Yeah, please come. Sit down. Harris Mir, you have, of course, plenty of material to talk and share with the board. And you have, in fact, more than what is required, in the sense that it's a mixed feedback to you. Okay. So, more, why I say more is that you tend to go a little lengthier in your answers. And you give very little breaks, pauses. You see, it's like a public speaking. Interview is like a public, because it's personality test. It's not merely sharing what you know and what you feel about certain issues. It's how you convey it, that's very important. So give pauses.
Yes.
Shorten your answers a bit. Let's say 3-4 sentences to an answer.
Okay, sir.
Practice that. You have, I mean, you are already so good. There is, I mean, we don't feel like giving you too many, but improvement is always, helps. Greetings also, I mean, just 2 greetings to the chairman or chairperson and to the lady on the board. That's all, not to everybody individually.
Yes, sir.
That makes it crisp and professional like. When you shorten your answer and give pauses, so there would definitely be more energy on display. Now, when you talk lengthier, so it becomes kind of monotonous. So, thoda sa practice kariye that how you can make your answers to stop at a point. 4 sentences, stop. Let the member ask you supplementary, because you have enough to share. Even on issues like your Mir Thaki Mir, you have, generally people won't go to that. थोड़ा सा दम, energy on display होनी चाहिए. And avoid using harsh, not harsh, absolute expressions like in Trump's this thing when you were talking, that you said simply that he is against immigrants. Yes, everybody knows, and he is much louder than anybody else, but we are not. As a candidate, we are not as harsh or as absolute. Our language should be of a balance, like a diplomat's language. But views should be clear. What we want to say should be clear and should be firm. No hesitations on that. But avoid expressions like that. Definitely there would be many more questions on 2 areas. One is your law, taxation, and all related. It's always a hot subject, always, civil or criminal. So, and now corporate law and ethics and whatnot. And all these 3 Sangitas have come into it. So, there would be questions on that also. What major deviations or advancements have been made, and what are more positive? Again, and second area is because you have opted out of all other services, including IFS. Now, one question would be, you don't consider IFS better / higher than the IRS? Even if, your goal number 1 is IAS, but why not IFS? There would be questions on that, and it should be very convincing. You see, you might get score good enough which takes you beyond IRS, yes. But little short of IAS. Let's hope it never happens, but if it's short, then you are losing an opportunity.
Yes, sir.
And today, probably IFS could see our Honorable Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister, who is more visible than the Prime Minister. You know, there is so much of excitement in foreign affairs and the way world is being handled. So, more questions on that. Your answer to ma'am was that, you know, because IAS has more importance, or it can play more important roles and things like. Now, these are very, run-of-the-mill answers. Anybody would say that. Try and make your answers little different by way of making them more convincing. Now, conviction can come from one way is that since you are making it as your main target, the only target, is that you talk to certain serving IAS officers at various levels,
Yes, sir.
starting initial SDM level to DM and then higher, policy making and secretary level, and about deputations, and what about deputation from the private sector coming in, it still continues. What is the impact created by these newcomers? The hopes that were there, are they meeting? There are a lot of criticism also on that. So you talk to, you have time for your interview, isn't it?
Yes,
you
sir.
said what?
21st February.
Okay. You still have time. You can meet at least 2, 3, 4 officers. It's very easy. Some would be within your own state. You're in Delhi, you can find time, spend half a day meeting somebody, and it would be more advantages than sitting in your room and studying. It would be first hand. So, you would collect examples from them that how the IAS is more influential and more, can contribute much more. Okay? And criticism of IAS. Because a lot of IAS don't shine, it is just counted few. At any stage, if I ask you, give me few names who have made a difference by being IAS. So I don't think one would be able to count 1, 2, 3, 4. But there are, every year the intake is into what? About how many?
So it is approximately 140.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All the very best.
ऑल द बेस्ट. यू आर स्मार्ट, हैंडसम एंड गुड पर्सनैलिटी. क्योंकि आपको सिर्फ IAS ही बनना है, तो आपका बेंचमार्क बहुत हाई है ना, इसीलिए सर ने बहुत सारे पॉइंट बताया है. बहुत टाइम है लॉ के बारे में, आप टैक्सेशन सिस्टम, आपके सर्विस के बारे में, और आपके प्रेजेंट स्टेट, और शेरो शायरी और भी 1-2 पढ़िएगा. मीर के बारे में, मिर्ज़ा गुलाब, आपने एक ज़रूर बोला, पढ़िएगा. हो सकता है आपके स्टेट के बारे में, हबीज के बारे में, ये सब चीज़ में बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम चला जाए. टैक्सेशन, IRS वगैरह, वाई नॉट IFS, वाई नॉट IPS, बहुत जाएगा. बट यू हैव ए वेरी ब्राइट चांस. द एंटायर बोर्ड इज ऑफ द ओपिनियन कि आपके पास टाइम है, एंड गुड लक. आपका रैंक बहुत अच्छा हो सकता है. यू कैन मेक इट टू द IAS. ऑल द बेस्ट.
So shall I add something? Budget is about to come. So prepare your analytical answers. They would not ask you factual things. Since you come from within the services, have that advantage of primary sources and have analytical understanding of the budget before you go to the panel. Yeah? All the best.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.